बंद करना। हेलो।
Good morning, everyone. iTech India welcomes all the participants for today's Regional Distance Learning Seminar Series. Today's topic is Prevention of Parent-to-Child Transmission, and the speaker is Dr. Jasleen Kaur. Dr. Jasleen Kaur is currently working as the ART Medical Officer at PGIMER ART Center, Chandigarh. She completed her MBBS from MGM Medical College and Hospital and worked as a house surgeon in pediatric department. She has served as a project director in NIH project on NeuroAIDS. She has successfully completed the University of Washington course on clinical management of HIV. We welcome you, ma'am, for today's session. Kindly note that the session will be recorded. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. To all the participants, we are going to do the session of CPT-CP and ART in pregnant women. Today's session is pregnant prevention of parent-to-child transmission and ART in pregnant women. So, Sonali, 5. So, the session objectives. By the end of the session, the participants will understand HIV transmission from mother to child in India and the 4-pronged strategy to reduce HIV transmission from mother to child. We have NACO PPT-CP guidelines, when and what to start ART in pregnant and breastfeeding women. The ARV prophylaxis for infants, and there are different case scenarios also for the ART in pregnant women and the prophylaxis to the babies born to those mothers. So India has third largest HIV epidemic in the world. As per the 2017 data, we are having 2.1 million people living with HIV. So the NACO program is putting efforts to control the spread by increasing awareness in the people and dispensing ART to the positive PLS patients. So, as you all know, there are different modes of transmission of HIV, and mother to child transmission is one of them. Today's topic is mother to child transmission. So, as per 2017 data, we had 22,677 deliveries of HIV positive women who gave birth in 2017, and they needed prophylaxis for prevention. State-wise, we have highest number of PMT-CP in Maharashtra, followed by Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar, and then Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, West Bengal, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and Rajasthan. Together, all these 10 states contribute to about 3/4 of the PMT-CP data in the country. So, what are our goal and objective for PPT-CP? The vision is women and children live free of HIV, alive, and our goal is to work towards elimination of pediatric HIV and improve maternal, newborn, and child health and survival in the context of HIV infection. So, all pregnant women should be tested. So, 90% HIV infected pregnant women, if they are tested, so they should have access to PPT-CT services more than 90%. And out of those 90%, providing access to early infant diagnosis to more than 90% of HIV expected infants. And lastly, to ensure access to antiretroviral drugs and prophylaxis or antiretroviral therapy to 100% HIV exposed infants. And ensure 95% adherence with ART in HIV infected pregnant women. That means if you have got in the ANC program, when a female goes to for her checkup, the counselor should counsel the lady to get her HIV test done. Once she know her zero status, then she should be focused to start her ART so that the prevention to mother to child transmission is less. Once she has started treatment, the chances are less that child is of being child being positive is less, and so the services should start like this. The essential package of PPTCT services in India, the routine offer of HIV counseling and testing to all pregnant women enrolled in ANC with the opt-out program, opt-out option. Opt-out option means we cannot force the person, but our counseling should be such that the pregnant lady should agree that she will come do her HIV testing. Now, second, we should ensure the involvement of spouse, family members from ANC. The approach should be not ANC centric. That she has come for the ANC checkup, she should get her injection or the follow up in the gynae department, and then she should leave. No, it should be family centric. Now, if she has come to the ANC and she is found HIV positive, then her family should be approached and then her family should be involved in such provision of lifelong ART medicine yearly to all the pregnant and breastfeeding women. We should ensure that she is taking the medicines. HIV-1 infected yearly and regardless of her CD4 count or the clinical stage. The moment she comes to know of HIV status, she should be registered at ART center to the nearest ART center so that she can take her medicines on that very day, and if not possible on that day, she can come next day and start her medicine. Then the counselor at gynecology center, she should promote institutional delivery. She should tell the patient that she should come for a follow-up and start her follow-up there. Provision of care associated conditions if she has STI, RTI, TB, or other any opportunistic infections throughout the pregnancy, she should be taken care of. And providing nutritional counseling and psychological support. Because she is pregnant, she should be having some social issues also with the family, with the spouse, with the other members. So the counselor should take care that her psychosocial issues should be taken care of, and nutritional counseling should be there so that once mother is healthy, the child will also be healthy. The essential package of PPTCT services in India, the counseling and support for initiation of exclusive breastfeed within an hour of delivery as the preferred option. She should be told about this. That once the child is born, she should immediately shift to the breastfeeding. And if in case she doesn't want to, then she should go for exclusively replacement. But our focus should be exclusively breastfeeding for at least 1 year. And for those infants with negative HIV status, the early EID protocol, 2 years for HIV positivity. And provide ARV prophylaxis to infants from birth up to minimum of 6 months. So we all know that ARV prophylaxis for mother to child infant is of nevirapine, and which we give for at least 6 weeks. Integrate follow-up of HIV exposed infant into routine healthcare services. Normal immunization should be there for the child also, like the other normal patients. And we should ensure that CPT, cotrimoxazole prophylactic therapy, and early infant diagnosis using HIV DNA PCR at 6 weeks, and then it forward as per the NACO EID algorithm. Then we should strengthen community follow-up, outreach through local community networks, support HIV positive pregnant women and their families. So next is risk of HIV transmission from mother to child with ARV interventions. So if you see the slide in ARV intervention, and next is the risk of HIV transmission from mother to child. If the mother is not taking ARV and is breastfeeding, the chances are 30 to 45%. This is in the first column. And if you see last but second column, 3 ARVs, mother is on triple drug ARV with breastfeeding, the chances of risk of transmission is only 2%. And with 3 ARVs, last line, with no breastfeeding, it is 1%. So, how much risk is reduced if the pregnant lady is on ARV? So our focus should be such, our counseling should be such that once she comes to know of her HIV status, she should be focused to start her ART as early as possible, and she should adhere to ART so that the risk of transmission goes markedly down to 2%. And if she is not breastfeeding, it's 1%. But we should focus on breastfeeding because 1% chance for a loud or loud mask or instrument. So we should focus on exclusively breastfeeding. So as per the chart, no ARV breastfeeding, the chances are 30 to 45%. No ARV, no breastfeeding, 20 to 25%. Short course of one ARV, if the female is taking only one drug, 15 to 25%. And short course with one ARV, no breastfeeding, 5 to 15%. Short course with two ARV, breastfeeding, 5%. Three ARVs, which I discussed with breastfeeding, it's only 2%. So our motto should be such that she is taking clearly and giving breastfeed. Breastfeeding we should focus because it's good for the child for her to have breastfeed because it helps in fighting many infections later on. Now, PPTCT four-prong strategy. Prong one is primary prevention of HIV, especially among women of childbearing age. Second prong is prevention of unintended pregnancies among women living with HIV. Third prong is prevention of HIV transmission from pregnant women infected with HIV to their children. Fourth is provide care, support, and treatment to women living with HIV and their children. Prong one, as you see, first female, she is negative. We should once she come to the ANC checkup, at least you should be given counseling and telling her, making her aware about the HIV routes of transmission of HIV, so that she should be aware when second time she comes, she should know that she has to be negative and she has to take care of herself and her family by taking all precautions. Making prong to prevention unintended pregnancy. Now in this, HIV, she has come to know she's HIV positive, not pregnant, family planning, counseling, all in ICU. But registration at ART with the help of CSC. Prong 3 is prevention of mother to child. Now, if she is pregnant and she is HIV positive, she should be linked to ART for the betterment of the child, for the better health of the lady. And prong 4 is care, support, and treatment. Now, the child childbearing women, HIV information to all pregnant women. And antenatal visits are an opportunity at PPTCT where they can come to know about the HIV and other infections. Prevention of PTCT through ART and safe obstetric practices. Interventions during labor and delivery. So minimize vaginal examination should be there. Patient should not be put for prolonged labor. Administer oxytocin for shortening of the labor. No artificial rupture of membrane should be there. Early cord clamping to avoid excessive blood shedding. And non-invasive method of fetal monitoring should be there. Routine suturing with support of perineum. And last, avoid forceps or vacuum extractions. Consideration in mode of delivery. Delivery is preferred in India, so we should focus that the child should go for normal vaginal delivery unless there is any complication for which she has to move to cesarean section. And secondly, use of ARTs when she is put on ART, the HIV viral load is reduced to a greatest extent and thus reduces the risk of mother to child HIV transmission to about less than 1% with infant ARV prophylaxis. So our main focus is in this program is to lessen the chance of mother to child transmission. Evaluating HIV infected pregnant women under different case scenarios. Now, pregnant and breastfeeding women with HIV. Women detected uh, positive during routine antenatal care. Ensured she should be linked to ART immediately. At ART center, we should perform CD4 test and initiate ART regardless of her CD4 count. Then ensure institutional delivery and a follow-up. Second is women who are registered in pre-ART care, then follow the all policy, perform CD4 testing, and initiate ART regardless of CD4 count. Third is scenario woman who is already on ART now continue ART for same ART for that patient and she should go for her follow-up. Fourth scenario is woman who came directly in labor. We should perform confirmatory HIV test and take blood for CD4 count. Initiate ART regardless of CD4 count. Ensure linkage to ART center immediately in the postpartum. Then fourth scenario is woman detected positive uh, postpartum. Then link her to ART center immediately, perform CD4 test, and initiate ART regardless of CD4 count. Our focus should be Whenever she comes and she comes to know about her HIV status, that she is positive, we should start her with care. Regardless of CD4 count, our focus should be that just ask for the history, whether she has taken any ART in past, whether she knew her status, because the other regimes will follow, which I'll tell you later. But once you know that she is positive, immediately put her on ART. If she is pregnant, it is safe for her child. If she is not, even then, in the breastfeeding phase, she it will help her child in reducing the risk of transmission. And what to start here? Now, as I have shown you the scenarios in which she will come to know her daily status, the target population is pregnant and breastfeeding women with HIV, ART naive. That is, she has never taken ART in the past. So drug regime in such females it will be TLE as per the microbiome. We will give her TLE and we will explain her to take a TLE 2 hours after the dinner and not to take heavy meals, fat-free dinner in the night. Second scenario will be pregnant physician and breastfeeding women with HIV already receiving ART. She is already on ART, she is on follow-up from ART. So we will tell her to take ART, whatever she is continuing. Whatever regime she is taking, let her take, and she should continue and her adherence should be good. For example, if she is on ZLN or ZLE from the past, she should continue. And if she is on TLE, then she should continue with it. ART regime for third scenario is ART regime for pregnant women having prior exposure to NNRTI for PPPP. In this, as she has taken NNRTI in the past, so as per the PPTCP guidance, all tested pregnant women exposed to nevirapine or equivalent in the past, they should be initiated on lopinavir instead of equivalent. So her regime will be tenofovir, lamivudine, and lopinavir and butalbital. The doses of PL by R is PL1 OD and LPV by R 200 by 50 2B. So a backup Abacavir lamivudine equivalent is the first line ART treatment for all patients with known renal disease or who develop toxicity to tenofovir. This slide has this hand and this looks why it's not moving. Care and assessment for women presenting directly in labor. If HIV test is not done, she comes to know her status in the labor room. Labor room nurse and posted in the gynae will do the counseling and HIV screening for that patient. If the woman consents screen using the mole guard fingerprint test in the delivery room. And if she is detected HIV positive, the medical officer will initiate TLE and ensure immediate linkage to the ART vision. Labor room nurse informs the ICDC counselor and lab technician for further confirmation of HIV test as per the guideline. Now, pregnant woman presenting in active labor. Her maternal status, she is in active labor, no prior ART she has taken. Intrapartum, she should start with TLE, and postpartum, she should continue with TLE. Nevirapine prophylaxis for breastfeeding infant should be for 12 weeks because she has not taken ART in the first trimester, she has not taken the second trimester. Those pregnant women who has not taken ARV drug for at least 4 weeks, the child will be given nevirapine prophylaxis for at least 12 weeks, not 6 weeks. So, word of caution here is the 6-week prophylaxis is 12 weeks here because she has not taken ARV in first or second trimester or at least for 4 weeks, and she has directly come in the labor. ARV prophylaxis for infant. The infant should be started on nevirapine with as per the body weight, which I told you. The duration of nevirapine prophylaxis will depend on the duration of ART that has been given to the mother during her ANC period and mode of infant feeding, exclusively breastfeeding or exclusively replacement feeding. The infant should be started on daily nevirapine prophylaxis at the first encounter with the health services. Daily infant nevirapine prophylaxis can be given if more than 72 hours have passed since birth and should continue. During this period, the mother should be linked to appropriate ARV therapy. Now, ARV prophylaxis for infant. Duration of daily infant nevirapine prophylaxis will depend on how long the mother was on lifelong ARV. As I told you earlier, if the mother has taken 4 weeks of ART, then the prophylaxis will be of 6 weeks. And if the mother has not taken for at least 4 weeks, the duration will increase from 6 to 12 weeks. So the nevirapine, which was earlier scheduled for only 6 weeks for the mother, if she has not taken ART, it will be increased to 6 to 12 weeks. The period will be of 12 weeks. ARV prophylaxis for infant, the recommendation on extended nevirapine duration 12 weeks applies to infant on exclusive breastfeeding only and not on those on exclusive replacement. Infant of women with prior exposure to nevirapine and infants of HIV-2 infected mothers should get syrup zidovudine in place of syrup nevirapine. I think everyone is clear to this. The recommendation of ARV prophylaxis for HIV exposed infants. Infant birth weight, nevirapine dose and daily dose and duration. Infant, if he is less than 2 kg, the dose recommended is 2 mg per kg once daily, and the doses will become 0.2 ml once daily. If the birth weight is 2 to 2.5 kg, it will be 10 mg once daily, that means it will be 1 ml once daily. And if the birth weight is more than 2.5 kg, it will become 15 mg once daily. That means syrup nevirapine 1.5 mg once daily. And duration, as I told you earlier, 6 weeks regardless of whether exclusively breastfed or exclusively replacement, and extended to 12 weeks only if the duration of ART received by the mother during her pregnancy is less than 4 weeks and she is breastfeeding. Now, HIV exposed infants of HIV-2 infected mother start syrup delivery in place of nevirapine syrup immediately after birth till 6 weeks of age because NNRTI doesn't support HIV-2. If the pregnant woman she is HIV-2 infected, her ART will be also TL plus LP/R. We are not giving her NRTI, nevirapine or efavirenz. So in that scenario, liraglutide will be given in place of nevirapine. And the recommended doses are, if the child is less than 2.5 kg, it is 10 mg per dose, twice daily, morning and evening. And if the birth weight is more than 2.5 kg, it will be 15 mg per dose, twice daily. I hope this is clear. Now, specific interventions during infancy. We should observe for signs and symptoms in HIV for the HIV infection. All HIV exposed infants should receive TPT at 6 weeks of age and follow all the standard normal immunization schedule as for all the other normal. Routine validated visits should be there, and EID as per the algorithm, DNA PCR test, then 18-month visit for HIV antibody testing. Infant feeding. The current national guidelines for feeding of HIV exposed and infected infants till the for less than 6 months of age are exclusively breastfeeding for first 6 months of life. In a situation where the mother is practicing mixed feeding, healthcare worker or counselor should motivate her for exclusively breastfeeding because there are benefits of breastfeeding. So we should counsel the mother to only give breastfeeding, exclusively breastfeeding for at least 6 months. Because after 6 months she can start with the weaning, but till 6 months she should practice exclusively. And if in case exclusively breastfeeding is not possible because of maternal sickness or mother has delivered twins or some other issues, mother and health care workers can be reassured that maternal ART reduces the risk of postnatal HIV transmission in the context of mixed feeding as well. Only if the maternal health is not allowing, then only you should focus for replacement feeding. Otherwise, you should counsel mother for exclusively breastfeeding. Mother known to be HIV infected and whose infants are HIV uninfected or unknown HIV serology should exclusively breastfeed their infant for at least first 6 months of life, introducing appropriate complementary feeds thereafter and continuing breastfeeding. And breastfeeding can be stopped only after ensuring a nutritional, adequate, and safe diet without breast milk, which can be provided. Mother living with HIV should breastfeed for at least 12 months and may continue breastfeeding for up to 24 months or beyond, similar to the general population as per the normal population, while being fully supported for ART adherence. And exclusively replacement feeding may be considered only in situations where breastfeeding cannot be done. Like there is a issue, mother cannot, the milk is not there, or some other sickness is there, or some issue is there, or upon individual mother's choice, and only if all the six criteria for replacement feeding are met. And those six criteria are a fast, and a fast AFASS means acceptable to the family, feasible, it's affordable, it's sustainable, it's safe. That means the child who is taking this milk, the mother is it suits the pocket of the family. It should not be like this that they start with the replacement feeding. Once they are out of money, they again start breastfeeding. And feasible for, they can buy that, and it should be affordable to them, sustainable, that they can sustain for a longer time also, and it is safe. They, and in the replacement feeding, the bottles are to be washed properly so that the infection rate is less. The family should take care that all the feeding bottles are properly washed, boiled, so that there is no chance of infection to the baby. Now there are different case scenarios. We'll go one by one. Mrs. A was given single dose serum nevirapine prophylaxis during labor 2 years back. Now she is again pregnant and her CD4 is 400. What ARV gene should be given now? What ARV prophylaxis should be given for infant for and for what duration? In this case, as we are following our national guidelines, pregnant women should be initiated on ART regardless of CD4 treat or positive. And she is eligible for ART. She has received nevirapine, so there is a chance of acquired resistance to MNRTA, that is nevirapine and intolerance. Taking this in view, we should start her with TDF, BTC, LCE, and also because of the chance of archive resistance to NRTI in mother, subsequent transmission to infant nevirapine is not ideal agent for prophylaxis, so syrup zero is preferred in this case. But in case if syrup zidovudine is not available, we can give syrup nevirapine. So this is case scenario 1. Case scenario 2. Mrs. B was given single dose nevirapine during labor 2 years back. Her latest CD4 is 200. She is pregnant now. What regime should be given? So she is eligible for ART because she has taken nevirapine in the past. Again, there is a chance of archival resistance to NRTI. Her regime will be TDF 50 LPYR, as I told you in the first Now the case scenario 3, Mrs. C received option B triple ARV in 2013 during her first pregnancy. Now she reports to the ART center in 2016, December 2016, presenting with second pregnancy, first trimester, her latest CD4 count is 420. What regime should be given to her now? And what ARV prophylaxis should be given for infant and for what duration if baby is on ARV? Exclusive replacement. Now she should continue with her ART. The patient received option B TLE and it was stopped 7 days after discontinuation of breastfeeding. As she was on triple drug ART, chances for archived resistance to NRTIs are minimal. So it is recommended to start with TLE and syrup nevirapine for 6 weeks for the infant. Now the fourth case scenario is Mrs. D received option B in 2013 during her first pregnancy. At present, her CD4 count is 576. She is not pregnant. What regime should be given? As she is HIV positive, treat all policies there. She is not pregnant, but she should be put on. She should be put to ART first. Initiate TLLPs by her because she has taken option B in 2013. Again, here the sorry TLE can be given. She has not received option B in 2013 due to her first pregnancy. At present, her CD4 is positive. So TLE can be given because option B was on the first. Mrs. E presented directly in labor in 2013. She was given single dose nevirapine and ZL for 7 days. Now she is presenting with second pregnancy, third trimester. What regime should be given now? What ARV prophylaxis should be given to infant and for what duration if the baby is breastfed? So she has come directly in labor in 2013 and she was given single dose nevirapine and ZL for 7 days. So we will initiate her on EDF, CTC, by her and syrup zidovudine for the baby. As she has presented directly in labor, there is no 4 week. She has not taken ART for 4 weeks, at least 4 weeks before there. So the baby will be given 12 weeks of prophylaxis syrup zidovudine. And if zidovudine syrup is not available, she can take nevirapine. Mrs. F An asymptomatic postnatal PLHAV presents 3 days after delivery at the ART center. Her CD4 count is 550. She has opted for exclusively replacement feeding. What is the next step in the management of the mother? And what is the next step in the management of the baby? As mother has opted for exclusively replacement feeding and test and feed policy, she is eligible for ART. She should be given TLE, and for the baby, we'll give syrup nevirapine of 6 weeks duration. Mrs. G21 is HIV positive and pregnant, presented in the AMC clinic and opted for MCP. Her CD4 count is 580. Should we initiate her on ART? If yes, which month? Test and feed guidelines TLE will be started. Now the next scenario is Mrs. H, 26 years, registered at ART Center in 2010. She was initiated on ART in 2010 on AZT-3PC ESD. She reported at the ANC clinic within 2 months pregnancy in December 2014. Her last visit to the ART center for ART was in December 2014. She missed her ART due date in January 2015. She was followed up through ORW and linked back to the ART center in February 2015. What regime should be given now? What ARV prophylaxis should be given to the infant if the mother is breastfeeding, and for what duration? So she should continue with her previous regime and syrup nevirapine for syrup 6 weeks. Mrs. J, 28 years, last visited the ART center in September 2015. She was followed up by the ORW and linked back to the ART center in February 2016. She reported that she was pregnant 6 months. What regime should be given now? What ARV prophylaxis should be given to the infant and for what duration if the baby is exclusively replacement? So she should continue with the same regime as she was on ART and syrup nevirapine for 6 weeks as baby is exclusively replacement fed. Mrs. K was diagnosed HIV positive directly in labor. She was initiated on ART clearly. On discharge, she was given 7 pills and was advised to visit ART center. However, she visited the ART center after 45 days. What regime should be given now? She should continue with healing and what ARV prophylaxis should be given to the infant and for what duration? It should be for 12 weeks syrup nebulizer because it is after the guidance is required for management of mother and baby in case of HIV-2 or HIV-1 and 2 infection. As I was shown you in the slide for HIV-2 infections or HIV-1 and 2 both, the regime for mother will be TEL plus LPV by R. TL1 would be LPV by R2 BD. And for such babies, the Ridovudine syrup is preferred choice. Guidance is required for babies born to HIV-infected mother presenting 72 hours after delivery. Current ARV guidelines, ARV prophylaxis is to be given to babies brought even after 72 hours of delivery. Now there is no such that we cannot give after 72 hours. Current guidelines says even after 72 hours we should start with the prophylaxis. Scenario A, mother not on ART and breastfeeding baby presenting within 6 months of delivery. Initiate ART clearly and for the baby, syrup nevirapine prophylaxis for 12 weeks of duration. At 6 weeks, follow EID algorithm. We should do the DNA PCR for itself. If DNA PCR is positive, then we should start ART for the baby. Initiate ART AZT, that is Ridovudine, Candozine, LPVR. In case the child is anemic, we can start with Abacavir, Lamivudine, LPVR. Second scenario, if DNA PCR is negative for the child has to be followed up at 6 months perform rapid antibody test and subsequently then DNA PCR is if necessary as per the EID algorithm. If the child is positive, then the regime is going to be same AZT, PTCLB bar, if anemic ATC. The guidance is required for babies born to HIV infected mother presenting 72 hours after delivery. Current ARV prophylaxis is to be given to babies brought even after 72 hours of release scenario being mother and not on ART and baby presenting within 6 months of delivery. Baby is on exclusively to replacement treatment. In such scenario, because mother is not on ART, she should be started on ART initially. Now infant start nevirapine prophylaxis for the baby. At 6 weeks and after follow-up, early infant diagnosis algorithm perform DNA PCR for the baby. Same if DNA PCR is positive, the initiate ART for the child. If DNA PCR is negative, the child has to be followed for. And now at 6 months, perform rapid antibody test and subsequently DNA PCR as per the EID algorithm and take further decision accordingly. Scenario C is mother on TLE from second month of pregnancy and breastfeeding baby, presenting after 6 months of delivery. So mother should continue TLE, initiate syrup never-in to the baby. Again, perform rapid antibody test, TID algorithm, same as in the scenario B and A. Here the syrup never-in prophylaxis will be for 12 weeks. Perform rapid antibody test as per EID algorithm, DNA PCR, then EID algorithm for further initiation of ART, or if the baby is negative, then continue. Now the key points is effective implementation of PPDCT component with the planned linkages and referral aim to eliminate pediatric HIV by the year 2020. Essential package of PPDCT services in India includes best obstetric and appropriate infant feeding practices. Triple drugs, that is TLE, regime is the best option made available to pregnant and breastfeeding women with HIV-1. TLLPUIR for HIV. Appropriate ARV prophylaxis has to be initiated in infants. I hope this is clear to all. Any questions, please?
Participants can type their questions in the chat box. Thank you, ma'am, for this informative session. Thank you to all the participants for patient listening.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.